Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Noor Afiqah Binti Azhar. My student ID is 2022997089 and I am from ED 2491A.
Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. I am Shaza Alya Binti Mohamad Halim. My student ID is 2022765741 and I'm from the group ED 2491A.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Noor Syafawani Binti Endera. My student ID is 2022748525 and I'm from ED 2491A.
Hi everyone, my name is Mohamad Haqim bin Zafri. My student number is 2022997079.
Hi, my name is Syahirah Binti Suhinin and my student ID is 2022997013.
Hi everyone, of course you all want to know more in depth about numerical descriptive statistics, right? So let's together follow our journey in explaining to you in detail about numerical descriptive statistics, or more specifically about group frequency distribution. So did you know it's exactly the numerical descriptive statistics? Numerical descriptive statistics is the first piece of information used to understand and represent a data set. So what is the goals of numerical descriptive statistics? The goals is to describe the main features of numerical and categorical information with simple summaries. Did you know that there is three types of numerical descriptive statistics? First type is measures of central tendency that contain three main measures, which is mean, median, and mode. Next, numerical descriptive statistics also contains measures of dispersion that have interquartile range, variance, and standard deviation in it. Lastly, numerical descriptive statistics also measure shape of skewness or curve. Next, let's explore one by one and more further about group frequency distribution of numerical descriptive statistics. So, what are you waiting for? Let's go. First thing that we want to tell you is about mean. What is mean? The mean or average of dataset is found by adding all numbers in the dataset and then dividing by the numbers of values in the set. In statistics, the mean purpose is to summarize an entire dataset with a single number representing the data center point or typical value. And mean is also known as the arithmetic average. So to find mean in group frequency distribution is you must to apply formula. The formula of mean is the sum of frequency that multiply with midpoint of each data and divided it with the total summation of frequency. By apply this formula, you will get the mean for group frequency distribution. I will pass the presentation to the next presenter to discuss the next topic.
Next, median. Median is defined as the value of the middle item or the mean of the values of the two middle items when the data are arranged in an ascending or descending order of magnitude. So, in case of a group data, the median is calculated with the help of the following formula. Unlike the arithmetic mean, the median can be computed from open-ended distributions. This is because it is located in the median class interval, which would not be an open-ended class. In case of the qualitative data where the items are not counted or be measured, but are scored or ranked, it is the most appropriate measure. Next, median. Median is defined as the value of the middle item or the mean of the values of the two middle items when the data are arranged in an ascending or descending order of magnitude. So, in case of a group data, the median is calculated with the help of the following formula. Unlike the arithmetic mean, the median can be computed from open-ended distributions. This is because it is located in the median class interval, which would not be an open-ended class. In case of the qualitative data where the items are not counted or measured but are scored or ranked, it is the most appropriate measure of central tendency. So first step is prepare the frequency distribution table in such a way that its first column consists of the observations and the second column the respective frequency. Second step is the third column must consist of the cumulative frequency. And then obtain total number of observations and find n over 2. Next, find the class whose cumulative frequency is just greater than the value n over 2. This class is known as the median class. And the last step is to calculate median. Use the formula above.
Then I will explain to you guys how to find mode data. Before that, what is mode? Mode is defined as the number which occurs frequently. The mode may not exist one mode or multi-mode. In group frequency distribution, modal class is the class which has the largest standard frequency. An estimate of the mode can be obtained from the modal class. There are two methods to calculate the mode, which are by using histogram and also formula. As you can see at the diagram of the histogram here, the class interval with the highest height contains the mode. In the graph shown, the blue bar has the highest frequency of 25, hence the mode is 30 until 40. Straighten the upper left corners of the highest and lowest bars. This means we join the above histogram's orange dot. Then we connect the upper right corners of the highest and lowest bars with a straight line. Join the two green dots in the histogram. Mark the line intersection. Below that location, draw a vertical line and the mode is the line's x-intercept. So, the graph mode is 35. However, it is easier if you are using formula to find the mode. As you can see here, the formula is mode equals to L plus A over A plus B multiplied with C, which is L stands for lower class boundary of the modal class. A is the difference between frequency of the modal class and frequency of the previous class. B is the difference between frequency of the modal class and frequency of the next class. And C is for size of the modal class.
Thank you, Shaza Alya, for the explanation. From the previous presenters, they had explained about the measures of central tendency, which is mean, median, and mode. So now, I will proceed with the measures of dispersion. Why I want to explain about measures of dispersion is because the measures of central tendency only are not enough to show the complete picture of the distribution of a whole data, and it does not describe how the data distributed. In measures of dispersion, you will know about interquartile range, variance, and standard deviation. So, I will proceed with interquartile range. To find interquartile range, first, you need to know first quartile and third quartile. In a dataset, quartile is one of 3 points that divide a dataset into 4 equal groups, each representing a fourth of the distributed sample population. We also know the 3 measures of quartiles as first quartile, second quartile or median, and third quartile. The step used to find interquartile range for group frequency distribution is, first we need to find third quartile and first quartile. How to find third quartile and first quartile? We can use the formula that's shown in the slide. After find third quartile and first quartile, we can find interquartile range by subtract third quartile and first quartile. So, you will get interquartile range.
Variance is the average squared deviation from the mean of the set of data, and it also used to find the standard deviation, where it is the square root of the variance. The standard deviation shows the variation in data. If the data is close together, the standard deviation will be small. Meanwhile, if the data is spread out, the standard deviation will be large. For group data, we use the midpoint of a class instead of x or exact value. We multiply the numerator by f or the frequency before taking the sum. To get the standard deviation, just take the square root of the variance.
Thank you, Ira. It's time for me to explain a little bit about coding method. In numerical descriptive statistics, there is another method to find mean and standard deviation, which is coding method. This method can be used if it does not involve big numbers to avoid complicated calculations. To apply this method, we need to pay attention to some formulas as shown in the slide. We need to transform formula of y, which is y equal to midpoint of each class minus assumed mean which taken from the midpoint of the middle class, divided by the class width. As I mentioned before, we can find mean and standard deviation by using coding method. So here are the formulas. For mean, we just total out with assumed mean and the product of class width and y bar. So for y bar is defined as a sum of frequency and y, and then divided by the sum of frequency. And then for standard deviation, there are two formulas that we can use, and usually we are using the second formula. In choosing assumed mean, if it is an odd number of classes, we will take the midpoint of the middle class. Meanwhile, if it is an even number of classes, we will take either one midpoint of the other two middle classes.
For the last part, we will go through with skewness. Skewness is a measure of symmetry, or more specifically, the lack of symmetry. The shape or skewness of a distribution or data set can be determined if it can be presented in a histogram or a polygon frequency. Let's see the types of skewness. Firstly, symmetry or bell-shaped polygon frequency. This is a normal curve where the mean, median, and mode share the same value. Secondly, positively skewed or skewed to the right. This is a skew to the right curve where the value of a mean is more than mode. Lastly, negatively skewed or skewed to the left. It is skewed to the left curve where the value of mean is less than the value of mode. Next, we will see the formula to calculate the measure of skewness. To find Pearson's first coefficient of skewness, we must find the difference between mean and mode and then divide them by the standard deviation. If the question asks us to find the Pearson's second coefficient of skewness, the formula is 3 multiplied with mean minus median and then divided by standard deviation. If Sk is equals to 0, then the frequency distribution is normal and symmetrical. If Sk is more than 0, then the frequency distribution is positively skewed. If Sk less than 0, then the frequency distribution is negatively skewed.
Thank you to all the presenters for explaining about measures of central tendency and measures of dispersion. Now, let's proceed with real-life situation. During Eid Adha, Putra Mall decided to host a Hari Raya Expo for a day. 150 customers were invited to the event. The amount spent by these 150 customers on that day is recorded in table below. Amount spent 100 until 149 is 29 customers. 150 until 199 is 25 customers. 200 until 249 is 36 customers. 250 until 299 is 28 customers. 300 until 349 is 19 customers. 350 until 399 is 13 customers. So, from the situation before, we can answer all the questions. First, based on group data above, find A. mean, B. median, C. mode. Second, by using formula, find the interquartile range. Third, by using formula, find the variance and standard deviation for the amount spent by customers. Fourth, find the mean and standard deviation of the distribution above using coding method. And fifth, calculate the Pearson's first coefficient of skewness and give your comment. Good luck!
For this question, they want us to find the mean of amount spent by 150 customers on the Hari Raya Expo that held by Putra Mall. So to find mean, we must apply the formula first. This is the formula. The formula for mean. The formula for mean which is the summation of the frequency that multiply with midpoint of class for amount spent, then divide it with the total of frequency. So first we must multiply each number of customers with their own amount spent midpoint. After we multiply it, we will get the value of fx, which is fx is number of customers time with midpoint, and sum all of the value of fx to get the value of 54,775. Next, we must find the total number of customers, which is sum up all of these number of customers to get 150 customers. So, by use two of this value, use the formula, and we will get the value of mean, which is 231 and 8.83.
The question need us to find the median. So here's the median's formula. And then first thing first, we need to prepare the frequency distribution table, and this is our cumulative frequency. And then we need to determine our median class by dividing our total frequency with 2. So from this equation we got 75. So we know that this row is our median class because the cumulative frequency is just greater than 75. So after that, we just insert all the value that we got from the table to this formula. So from my calculation, the answer is 268.944.
For this question, we need to find the mode of the data. I suggest you to find the mode using formula, which is mode is equal to L plus A over A plus B and multiply with C. As we see at the table, the highest frequency is 36, where it is lies between 200 until 249 model class. So, L, which is the lower class boundary of the model class, is 199.5. Then the difference between frequency of the model class, which is 36, and frequency of the previous model class, which is 25, is 11. So the value of A is equals to 11. Next, the difference between frequency of the model class, which is 36, and frequency of the next model class, which is 28, is 8. So the value of P is equals to 8. Moreover, the value of C, which is the size of the model class, is 50. We substitute all the values into the formula, which is mode is equal to 199.5 plus 11 over 11 plus 8 multiply with 50, and finally we got the answer for the mode, which is 228.45. Question 2. By using formula, find the interquartile range. So we need to read the situation before. During Eid Adha, Putra Mall decided to host a Hari Raya Expo for a day. 150 customers were invited to the event. The amount spent by these 150 customers on that day is recorded in table below. So the total is 150 customers. The amount spent is the class interval, while the number of customers is the frequency. From the frequency, we can find the cumulative frequency. So I put here the formula to find first quartile, third quartile, and how to find interquartile range. So from the information that I have explained, we can find first quartile. First, we need to find first quartile, which is n over 4. That means 150 over 4 and we will get 37.5. And then the lower class boundary is 149.5, size class is 50, frequency is 25, cumulative frequency, the class before the quarter class is 39, the n is 150. And then we put all the information in the first quarter formula and we will get 166.5. For third quartile, we need to find third quartile by using 3n over 4, and we will get 3 over 4 times 150, and the answer is 112.5. The lower class boundary of the quarter class is 249.5, the class size is 50, the frequency is 28, and the cumulative frequency, the class before the quarter class is 90, and the n is 150. So we can put all the information of the third quartile in the third quartile formula and we will get 289.6786. So to find interquartile range, we subtract third quartile with first quartile. 289.6786 minus 166.5, and we will get 123.178.
Third question, by using formula, find the variance and standard deviation for the amount spent by customers. So this is our variance formula and this is our standard deviation formula. Okay, first thing first, I come out with this table, which is this is for the frequency, our frequency column, and this is for the midpoint column. This is for the x square column, and this is f times x column, and this one is for the f times x square column. Next, the easiest part is we just have to substitute all the value that we got into this formula. So from my calculation, I got my variance is 5,979.5571, and then this is for our variance, and then to calculate the standard deviation, we just need to square root our variance. So square root 5,979.5571, we got 77.327. So that's how you calculate variance and standard deviation.
So let's look at the next question. The question asks to find the mean and the standard deviation by using coding method. As we can see here, this is the data from our question. The first step is to find y. The formula of finding y is equal to x minus x bar a, or assumed mean, divided by class width. To find assumed mean, we need to take the middle of class, but in this case, we have an even number of classes. So what we can do is by choosing either one midpoint of the other two middle class. I will choose the class of 200 ringgit to 249 ringgit. So my assumed mean will be 224.5. For class width, we just minus the upper class boundary and the lower class boundary, and we will get 50. Next, we just substitute all values that we had found in the formula of y. After we found out the formula of y, we need to have all information as shown in this table. Only then, we can find the mean and standard deviation. After we complete the table, we then need to find the value of y bar first. So here is how we calculate it. So our y bar will be 0.15. Next, we can find the value of mean by using the formula of SU mean plus the product of class width and y bar. After substituting all values that needed, our mean will be 232 ringgit. Next and the last step is to find standard deviation. I'm using the second formula as shown in the slide, and our final answer for standard deviation is 77.3116. So that is how we calculate the value of mean and standard deviation by using coding method. So I will pass the slide to our next presenter. Thank you.
The last question asks us to find the Pearson first coefficient of skewness. Do you still remember the formula to calculate the Pearson first coefficient of skewness? So the formula is Sk equals to mean minus mode and divide by standard deviation. As we already know the value of the mean, mode and standard deviation from the previous question, which are mean equals to 231.83, mode equals to 228.45, and the standard deviation is equals to 77.3276. So we just need to substitute all the values into the formula, which is Sk equals to 231.83 minus 228.45 and divide by 77.3276. So we got the value of Sk, which is 0.0437. Since the value of Sk is more than 0, then the frequency distribution is positively skewed or skewed to the right.
From numerical descriptive statistics, we can analyze and summarize the data from a sample or the entire population. As I mentioned in the first slide, the data that we can find by using numerical descriptive statistics are mean, median, mode, interquartile range, variance, standard deviation, and shape of the description. In a nutshell, studying and learning statistics is important because the practice of applied statistics plays a role in real-life situations. Descriptive statistics helps facilitate data visualization, and it makes the data to be presented in an understandable and meaningful way, which allows for a simplified interpretations of the data set in the questions. So that's all from our group. Thanks for watching.